Hi, welcome to Module 10, Psychosocial Development in Early Childhood. So we start out this module by talking about the self-concept and development of self-esteem, and how kids evaluate how well they're doing. Generally at this age, they tend to have a very concrete and inflated sense of self. So they define themselves in terms of I have blonde hair and my best friend's name is Jenny and I'm really, really great at this and I'm really bad at that. So you'll see that that changes over time, but that's what we would expect of kids this age. Then we move on to talking about gender development. Lots of controversy on this one and always has been. And I distinctly remember my first year undergraduate psychology class, and we had a professor who was trying to raise his daughter completely without cultural influence, without parental influence around gender. And he relayed to us how frustrating it was for him that despite all their attempts at removing color influences and toy influences, that his daughter was still drawn to pretty sparkly pink things and princesses. And almost 20 years later, we find the same thing. So read about gender development, and in the module about kids' own stereotypes and how their concrete thinking is quite rigid at this time around stereotypes as well. Then we move on to talking about play and the importance of play. And as you read about why play exists, I want you to think about whether we are in fact moving away from play in our current society and failing to really recognize how important it is to psychosocial development in favor of too much structure or too much academic learning. Then we look at parental discipline and parenting styles. So we'll learn about Baumrinn's parenting styles that are classically discussed in all of the developmental literature of the three basic types, plus one of more recent, and the fact that authoritative parenting has almost always proven the test of time to be most effective. But where it's controversial is that it's not always what's culturally practiced. So is it to say that other cultures should endorse authoritative style of parenting, or is it really what's most effective in the culture? And then finally, we talk about influences on prosocial and antisocial behavior. Specifically in my module, I discuss the research about television watching and violence. And just to summarize that, there has been a lot of accumulated evidence over many, many years to suggest that, in fact, messages of violence do cause aggressive behavior in kids, but that cause is especially relevant to kids who already tend to be aggressive. But it definitely has a causal factor. So you can think about that, and I'll see you next time.